Hello dear students, this video is made for BA Part 3rd students of English Literature, and in this video we are going to study Robert Browning's poem My Last Duchess, that is prescribed in your syllabus of in section A. As you can see on your screen, there is an image of Robert Browning. So first of all we will learn or we will study about Robert Browning. We will have a short intro about Robert Browning here. Robert Browning was born in 1812 and was died in 1889. As a moralist and a religious teacher, Browning held very distinctive place among the writers of the Victorian age. So here you can heard that Robert Browning is a precious jewel of Victorian age. God and immortality as a central truth of his philosophy of life. So Browning was very much optimistic and he derives hope from very incompleteness and imperfections of life. I will quote one of his line from Pippa Passes that God is in his heaven, all is right with the word. So here these lines are a clear-cut indicative of his blind optimism. Browning wrote very famous poem, and his first poem was Pauline. He was very famous for dramatic monologues in his poems that he used. He wrote some of his famous poems are like Sordello, Bells and Pomegranates, Pippa Passes, Christmas Eve and Easter Day, A Soul's Tragedy, The Ring and the Book, dramatic lyrics, dramatic romances and lyrics, men and women, dramatis personae, and dramatic idylls. A Blot in Scutcheon, Columbo's Birthday, and Strafford are the well-known tragedies of Browning. As I have told you that Browning was very famous for his dramatic monologues. So what is a dramatic monologue? First of all, you should learn. The dramatic monologue is a speech in poetic medium with a dominant dramatic note. It is cast in the form of a speech addressed to a silent listener. So there, in a dramatic monologue there is always a silent listener present on the stage. The speaker himself answers unspoken thoughts of the listener. The speaker of the monologue indulges in self analysis and self introspection, and in this way his soul is laid bare in the poem. Here we can quote Dr. B. Prasad's definition. He says that the dramatic monologue is part drama, part poetry. It is predominantly psychological, analytical, meditative, and argumentative. The aim of dramatic monologue is character study or psychoanalysis without the other dramatic adjuncts and dialogues. It is different from the drama in its complete lack of action and interchange of speech. So, here you can identify that in a dramatic monologue there is hardly any interchange of speech, and there is always a silent listener, and the speaker is more of the time indulge in self analysis and self introspection. The dramatic poetry found particular favor with Browning, who may be called its chief exponent. Browning raised the dramatic monologue to the rank of a major poetic form. He did not invent the dramatic monologue, but he made it especially his own, and no one else put such rich and varied material into it. Browning is, of course, our greatest master in the field of the dramatic monologue, and in his work may be found examples of every variety of it. The speaker, while speaking about himself, reveals not only his own character but also of the others about whom he speaks. This is the peculiarity we can see in Browning's dramatic monologue. The poet makes the speaker speak in a dramatic fashion and thus dissects his soul. So, as you know that in our syllabus there is a poem of dramatic monologue of Robert Browning, that is My Last Duchess. My Last Duchess is regarded as one of the finest dramatic monologue not only of Browning but in the entire range of English literature. The poem is a typical study of a Renaissance man, the Duke of Ferrara. Not only is the monologue an admirable piece of character study, but it is also the very epitome of Italian Renaissance. The very spirit of the Renaissance age has been captured in the short piece, its intrigue, its avarice, its cunning, and hypocrisy. So, when we will explain the poem, when we will study out the text, we will see that the man, that is the Duke of Ferrara, that is introduced in the poem, has a character full of intrigue, full, means tricks, full of greed, and full of cunning and hypocrisy. The poem shows, and all as well as you will see when you will study the poem, you will see that the character has love of the fine arts also. The poem shows Browning's mastery of dramatic art, irony, tragedy, and understatement. The Duke is a typical Machiavellian character of the Renaissance period. The speaker in the poem is an Italian duke of ancient lineage. The listener is the envoy who has come to the duke from the neighboring state to negotiate about the duke's second marriage. The duke is speaking to the count's envoy in his portrait gallery. His speech is carefully calculated to impress the envoy. While speaking of his last duchess, when you will study the poem, you will learn about the whole dramatic persona in the poem. The Duke tells the envoy as much about himself as about the Duchess. The portrait of the Duchess, which is designed by a well known painter, Fra Pandolf, is a piece of wonder. The portrait makes the circumstances more significant. Pointing to the portrait and describing it, the Duke touches upon the character of his last Duchess. The Duke, in his speech, lays bare his own supreme pride, his cruelty, and his possessiveness. The Duke reveals himself vividly and powerfully. In his speech, the Duke moves from one phase to another of his relationship with the previous Duchess. In My Last Duchess poem, Browning draws a picture of the proud, cruel, and arrogant Duke who hates his wife's generous nature. Through the cruel, selfish, cold, and greedy Duke, Browning pictures the Italian Renaissance in its phase of decline. So that's all about the introduction of Robert Browning and his poem My Last Duchess. I have given you a brief summary of My Last Duchess. In our next video, we will study the text and I will explain you the lines one by one, or will give you the critical comments about the lines also. So you are advised to listen the video carefully, and you are suggested to make a note on what is Renaissance period, what are the peculiarities and characteristics of Renaissance age. So make note on it. Thank you all.